Hi everybody, Bill Huddleston along with the coach of the Roughers, Josh Blankenship. Week number 3 is in the books. The Roughers went across the state border to Fayetteville and ran into the Purple People Eaters. I know they call them the Bulldogs, but Fayetteville a good football team.
Great team. We knew that going in. They had some special players. They do some special things. That's why they're state champions. They haven't let off that trek that they're on from last year. We knew what we were up against, but we were eager to get out there and try and do some things to expose them in some areas, and we had some success in some certain areas, especially offensively. We did some good things. In our kicking game, we did some good things, and defensively, we're definitely getting better, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's interesting to point out to our followers, Josh, that this is a football team that inch by inch, play by play, is improving in all facets of the ball game, and I know we throw these cliches around sometimes carelessly, but it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog.
Well, and we have no other option other than to look at it that way. We've got a bunch of sophomores and freshmen that are playing right now, and the only way they're going to get any better is through experience. I think some people probably felt better about how close the score was with the Sand Springs game. I was more excited about how we performed in the Fayetteville game, even though the score was so lopsided. We're getting better. And if you're watching closely and you know a little bit about how football's played, you can see that we've improved, and really only 2 full games now. They say your biggest improvement comes from week 1 to week 2. Well, we didn't have a week 2. We had a quarter. So we got to see a lot of growth in 2 games. And we're excited about going into district play, going in to see the Broken Arrow Tigers, who they're trying to win a state championship of their own, and they believe they can. And we're going to go into their place, and we've got another challenge on our hands. We're
going to take a look back at last Friday night's ball game, take some of the video clips and look at those. And first one of those we'll see is one of the plays of the Rougher defense. There it is, Coach. Nice little play here. Kelton Randolph shucking the block and making the tackle.
We're doing a better job of just playing fundamental defense as far as wrapping up. Great play by a sophomore there in the end zone for the 2nd week in a row.
Darian McNack.
Yeah, McNack making a big play to break up the pass in the end zone.
Big stop here on the goal line by the Rougher defensive unit.
Good penetration, and we're doing a better job of wrapping up.
Now back over on the offensive side, this is an improved combination. Trevor Giles to Anthony King.
Well, we knew we were going to lean on those guys and expect big things from them. Then when you get this added bonus of a sophomore making plays,
Bryson Bell,
pretty exciting. Right there, we feel like we score on that one if those 2 defenders don't grab hold of Anthony on his way out of his route.
Nice yards after catch here by AK after he makes the grab and gets out on the boundary. And little boot here, and all of a sudden, Rondell realizes that this is my time to go score.
A little trick throw back there. We get something out of it, and then the face mask bumps us down even further. And Trevor does a great job of following his blockers in there on a quarterback power.
And then one of the consistent parts that just gets better, it's the leg of Preston Soper.
Really pleased with our special teams to this point. Very sound, and obviously with Soper back there, you're going to have big things from the kick. But the way we're operating in how we're setting up our returns, how we're covering downfield, and then how we're protecting Soper on his PATs, field goals, and punts. Really pleased with how that group is performing.
And that was obvious too in the game Friday night at Fayetteville. They were not going to kick it deep and give you a chance to use the talents in the back end on those special teams. But one of the things that the Roughers do, not only on the field but off the field, is emphasize how to be a champion. And we're going to bring back in our second segment one of our champions of the week, and you'll find him easy to find when he's out there on the football field. We'll talk more about that when Rougher Football Show continues with Josh Blankenship and myself, Bill Huddleston, here on TV 15.
Hi, I'm Brendan Perryman, and if you're a Rougher fan, come support our Muskogee Roughers as they take on Broken Arrow at Tiger Stadium. But if you can't attend the game, you can watch it live via streaming on your computer or smartphone at MuskogeeRoughers.tv or listen to Bill Huddleston on 100.3 FM.
You are up a spirit, you can be like me. You just grab your Rougher gear, it is white and green. Look, I'm a Rougher baby, Rougher baby. Can't you see?
Welcome back here on TV 15, Muskogee Rougher Football Coaches Show. Bill Huddleston, along with the coach, Josh Blankenship. And Josh, a young man between us that I know you are extremely proud
of. Nigel Harris has really stepped up huge for us this summer. One of our leaders out there in Summer Pride, really worked his tail off to get in shape and get ready for the season. Has had a great beginning part of the season. He's we've got a new thing we call Count on Me Warrior Roughers. And when we were trying to decide on who those guys might be, Nigel was one of the first ones that our coaches said he's hands down one of those guys that we feel like we can count on. One of the things we believe is a defining characteristic of a champion and a man is that you can be counted on. And we feel like that's the greatest compliment somebody could be paid, is that they can be counted on. Nigel's one of those guys.
Nigel Harris, member of the offensive line for the Muskogee Roughers. Nigel, when Coach talks about count on me, how do you describe that? What does that mean to Nigel Harris?
It means to me like someone who the coaches trust to do their job and show our younger guys how they should be in school and on the field, because we have lots of young guys playing, and they have to grow up quick.
You grew up here in Muskogee, went through a year of the Paul Young League, then played in the middle school, and now you've advanced on into the high school level. Now in this position of leadership, what do you feel like, what's the weight upon your shoulders, and how do you deal with that on a day-to-day basis so that it doesn't become a burden, but it becomes a welcomed responsibility?
I just take it all in. I love playing football, so really, when it comes game time, the weight is really nothing. It's just the same thing every week.
And we talk about being a champion. Define champion through the eyes of Nigel Harris.
To be a champion, you have to make everything correlate with each other. Like if you're not doing good in class, you can't do good in football because you won't be able to play. So everything has to correlate with one another, from home to sports to class to everything you do in life.
And that's just like the play on the offensive line, Josh. I mean, every one of those guys out there, and actually with the offensive unit, defensive unit, special teams, every player has to do their job, and when there's one weak link, typically the opposing team's going to find that.
Yep, and that's what I love about the sport that these guys play and we get to coach is there's 11 out there at one time that if one of them doesn't do their job, it's not going to function right. This guy right here, we can count on to do his job, and the way he's leading and the way he's handling himself as a man, it's contagious. And the more people we get acting like Nigel and preparing like Nigel and then going out and competing, and you heard it all from him. I mean, he's got his head on right, and he's exactly what we're looking for.
Seeking that wisdom every day. Right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. 55 on the varsity roster, Nigel Harris, #1 in the hearts of many of the Rougher fans. He's our champion of the week. We'll be back with more. Josh will talk about this week's opponent, the Broken Arrow Tigers, when the Rougher Coaches Show continues here on TV 15.
Hi, I'm Brendan Perryman, and if you're a Rougher fan, come support our Muskogee Roughers as they take on Broken Arrow at Tiger Stadium. But if you can't attend the game, you can watch it live via streaming on your computer or smartphone at MuskogeeRoughers.tv or listen to Bill Huddleston on 100.3 FM.
You are of a spirit, you can be like me. You just grab your rougher gear, it is white and green. I'm a rougher baby, rougher baby. Can't you see?
Welcome back here on TV 15. We move into what football fans know as the season where you play for keeps. Everybody 0-0, even though 3 weeks, or for the Roughers 2, are in the record books.
Every team in the state right now is 0-0. It doesn't matter if we'd won the last 3 games or if we'd lost the last 3 games. We're going to say the same thing every year. When you start district play, you're 0-0. Big challenge ahead of us. Broken Arrow played in the state finals last year. They probably feel like they should have won that game in the state finals. We're going into their place. They're getting their stud running back. I hear he's returning off of a suspension. And we know we've got our challenges. We've got some young guys that are still playing and still learning. The big thing for us is we've got 7 games left, and we need to win. If we want to lock it in for sure, we need to win 5. But primary focus right now is somewhere within those 7 games. Let's win 4 to get us in the playoffs.
But most importantly, as you've stressed from day 1 of the spring campaign through the summer pride, fall practices, and now these first 3 weeks of the season, is continue to get better on every snap of the football, whether it's offense or defense.
That's the only way we're going to achieve our goals. I don't think right now that we're ready to go compete in the playoffs. I think our players would tell you the same thing. Our goal is not to be ready right now. Our goal is to be ready at the end of the season, at the end of district play, we want to be red hot, ready to go take on anybody that they'll put us up against in the playoffs. So that's the only way that's going to happen, is to continue to get better every day.
Now, you played your first 2 games at home, and they're a game and a quarter.
Game and a quarter.
Game and a quarter. 5 quarters at home. Then you had to go play on the road. How much does that experience of last week's road game pay dividends for this week going to BA?
It's big. You kind of realize your travel issues, where you've got a lot of guys that have not traveled with you before, so you get to work out the kinks. You don't really want to do that in one of your regular season games, but at least it was a non-district game. So we kind of hopefully buff those things out, and we have a smoother road trip. No major issues, but just little things that irritate a head coach that you want to fine-tune, eliminate all the distractions possible.
What caused those gray hairs up there?
They kind of keep getting more, showing up more frequently.
Well, there's a cure for that. It's called a win.
That's true.
And some added sleep. I'll get that too. And maybe the arrival of this new blanket baby.
Yep, and hopefully it's just not during overtime or during some crucial moment in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Josh Blankenship, Bill Huddleston. Our champion of the week was Nigel Harris. We want to invite you to Broken Arrow Friday night. 7:30 is the kickoff time. We'll have the game on radio as well on MuskogeeRuffers.tv. So if you can't make the short road trip to follow the green and white, pick it up on the computer or on the radio and follow Rougher football here in 2012. We'll do it all again next week, Josh, and we'll continue talking about this season for keeps. We call it district play, when the Roughers will take on Westmore in week number 5. But this Friday night, all focus is on the Broken Arrow Tigers. For head coach Josh Blankenship, I'm Bill Huddleston. So long for now.